Hello, everyone. I'm your host, Cy Smith. Today is Tuesday. It is March 1st, the beginning of the year. It's the last day of my time at my company that I've been at for almost 20 years. I'm going to miss this place. I'm still going to be downtown a lot. The purpose of this video is to talk about the 5 reasons I feel the Illinois Democrats have blood on their hands. Right now, Chicago has 104 murders. That's double what we had a year ago at this time, by the 90th day. So why do I say that the Illinois Democrats have blood on their hands? And number one is because they're in power. And when you're in power, you can do some things that when you're not in power, you can't get done. Number one, and I go through the 5 reasons. Number one is pecking order of resources. Number 2 is political code of silence. Number 3 is strategic isolation. Number 4 is economic exploitation. And number 5 is slave mentality organizing. So let's talk about that. Number 1, pecking order resources. The black politicians, Illinois Democrats, are told to go stand at the back of the line when it comes to resources for their communities. And they willingly go to the back of the line. Mike Madigan, the most powerful Democrat in Illinois, been there before I was born. Mayor Daley, former Mayor Daley, and the Daley family, and also 14th Ward Alderman Ed Burke, the most powerful alderman in the city council. All 3 of them control the resources, and they tell the black politicians to go to the back of the line, and they go. When you look at the murder and mayhem, you look at the resources, it's not going into the certain neighborhoods that could benefit if we saturated them with resources. So that's why I charge them, the number 1 reason being that. Number 2, political code of silence. What's happening with our tax dollars is unacceptable. We have people getting paid who don't even work for the city. They work at Northwestern Hospital, but they're collecting the city of Chicago pension. You have the $20 million milk contract that went to one of Daley friends, and they delivered half of that worth of milk. You had the Wi-Fi contract that went out to Rosemont, to O'Hare and Midway Airport to one of the Daley friends. You have the Skyway deal. You have the $100 million disability fund controlled by Ed Burke that's hidden from scrutiny. The list goes on. The $5 million payout for the Laquan family, the young man that was shot to death by the police officer. You have the Byrd situation. Where are the black aldermen to say enough is enough? But they're choosing to stay silent because that's the party leadership. So they're choosing political code of silence when they talk about the street code of silence. Number 3, strategic isolation. Most people don't know. Every 10 years, the census is done, and with that, they carve out what blocks and what precincts, and you realign how many House of Representatives you're going to have, and it goes all the way down to your local alderman. We just lost the 15th ward in Chicago, and our elected officials allowed it. They put up a fight for the media, but for the most part, they allow in the strategic isolation. And I give you a perfect example. I was mapped out of my ward a couple of years back, and that's what gerrymandering does. It insulates the incumbents. Economic exploitation. You have every ethnic group making money in distressed neighborhoods, high crime neighborhoods. Go to any high crime neighborhood and you'll see the economics are not controlled by the people who live there. You're not going to fix a lot when the money leaves every 4 hours, and that's a problem. The last one, slave mentality organizing. What do I mean by that? Slave mentality organizing is where the people want to please the master. And so what happens is the 17th Ward have their group of block clubs that they go and organize, and they meet with them. And then they allow the Anita Alvarez to come and speak to them, the Mayor Daley and his people to come and speak to them. So you're allowing the very people who are starving your community to come and speak to them because you've organized the block clubs, slave mentality, organized them and brought them to the very people who's going to help slaughter them. And so it's unacceptable what we're dealing with, and we have to fight against that. We have to know that we need to ask each of our elected officials, are you choosing your political party over the people? And if you are, we're going to hold you accountable. So what's new is the report card, the block-by-block evaluations. This is why I'm leaving my job, because we're about to wake the people up. We're going to give the people an option, and we're going to fight against anybody that's standing against us as people, block by block, in the grassroots community. This is Cy Smith. Thank you.